Alright, I want to start off by saying, I love my country. You know, I have it tattooed on my body, a symbol of my country. I have, flags hanging in my house. I'm very patriotic. Okay, leave it at that. But I want more people to ask themselves what kind of image our government is creating for our people. The country may be great, the people may be great, but I don't think the government is all that great. They're making bad decisions for us, so we need to question our government more and ask them why. That's one of the first things a human being learns to do is question. And it's a really hard thing to stop people from doing is questioning, and the government is getting really good at it. Every time there's a question, they have another ignorant answer for us, to keep us quiet, or whatever they do to control. I can't talk too much about that because it gets too broad, but there's multiple ways to keep us from asking why, or sustain us and keep us happy with our answer, for a little while. And I think our country is a bad guy, because of our government. And it's not, uncorrectable. I mean, we can fix it, but a lot of other countries are losing, interest in us in general, trading and our money. Our opinions on the situation, is kind of, way different from what they, thought would happen. They don't value us. I don't, it's not that, I mean, they used to fear us, that's probably why, they always did what we said, a lot of people did, but I don't think they do anymore. And I think I don't even remember his name, but I think he was right. Whoever he was that said we were a young Germany, because we keep trying to, control people. We're not a per se conquering nation, but we do control a lot of countries, and we control a lot about their countries. Things they do, things they can, the way. Not directly, indirectly, but I don't need to explain too much of that, I mean, control is control, and I think we're blinded ourselves. We're under their control too, They do wars without, really asking us. I think we need to make a new system of voting and, and vote on the wars ourselves, The government can propose, set its side, just like a court hearing, the government can say its side and why they want to do it, and, you give people the choice, you let them decide based on what, our government can show to prove why they need it. Just an example, or a thought. But our country's in some hot water is why I talk like this, We're on the edge of making a lot of enemies really fast, and a lot of them grouping together and, having a general hatred for us. And I don't think, any country would want that kind of image at all, It's kind of dishonorable, or, disrespected, you feel, your country should never feel, like the world hates you. I mean, there's been a lot of them, and they don't like them. I mean, we try to use their hatred against them, but it doesn't work. There's more people that hate us than like us. And I think the people that do like us or side with us in any way either need us or depend on us for protection, or they are scared of us and they have to. That's not a really good way to create friends. Most of our enemies are friends because they have one thing in common. They either want to stop us from doing what we're doing, or they just flat out hate us. You know, so it's really easy to become an enemy of America. You know, it's not a it's not very good to be friends with America. I think, you know, it's not very encouraging to be friends with America. You know, there's too many downsides to being friends with us. And I think the majority of it is because we're friends with Israel, and being friends with Israel has caused a lot of grief for our country and a lot of problems. You know, and it's, you know, most of our senators don't work for us. You know, they work for Israel. So, you know, just to be, you know, straight up, they do. You know, they're being paid by them, and, you know, I mean, there's not much to say after that. You know, I mean, our country is being told what to do by a little one. And to talk more about that, you know, I mean, you have a little country like Israel that, I mean, it has an army, it has bombs and, you know, stuff like that to protect itself, but it's not really a nation that can do any damage militarily wise. You know, it can do a little bit or cause some problems, you know, but if it went against a major nation, you know, like one of the world powers, if it were to attack the U.S. or China or Russia, it would be like a mosquito biting it on the, you know, on the neck. Yeah. So, I mean, I think like Israel needs us more than we need them. They're more of a problem for us, and we're like their, you know, big brother, or if they were, you know, a little Chihuahua, we'd be the big Rottweiler, you know, protecting them all the time. You know, it's just scary to think that a little bitty place smaller than the state I live in, you know, dictating and trying to manipulate world power. You know, I think our country should focus on more with relations with the other two powers, and instead of, you know, trying to control all the little ones, let the little ones go for now, as long as they're not problems, you know, or a major problem, you know, let them do what they got to do. We just need to work on relations with the other two powers because if all three powers are together, then we can, you know, influence and manipulate the other smaller countries into doing things that are more peaceful and more relaxed, you know, and instead of, you know, being angry. I mean, anger is human nature, but for a whole nation to be involved in a problem is pretty deep. You know, you have to manipulate a lot of people into that. But I think I'm just rambling now, so I'm going to cut it off.